So I'm Marc Castel. I'm the founder of a software company called Fiix in Toronto. We make software to manage large and small corporations' maintenance, repairs, inventories, and that kind of thing. So we're enterprise software. So I'm from the tech sector. My whole career, I've been fascinated by capitalism, business. A funny way to start here, but capitalism done right in how it was really set out to be has been one of the most powerful inventions of humanity for doing good in the world. And I think we lose sight of that with all the rhetoric these days. Over the last 200 years, capitalism has lifted about 70% of the world's population out of abject poverty. So what we do here as business owners is a noble endeavor, and you should never be apologetic for making money or running a great business. So that's my first message to you. The second message is conscious capitalism. That's where we actually have a soul as business people, can be leveraged to do incredible things in the world because corporations have lots of power. And I think we all know that. It can be used for better or worse. But when you wield that power, when you leverage that power in a conscious way, for good, then you can tackle very large social, environmental, and economic problems for the betterment of humanity, which leads me into corporate social responsibility, which is really the way that companies deploy their resources, their time, their money, and so on to tackle some of the biggest problems in the world. And this is not charity, this is not corporate charity, this is not philanthropy, this is a program within your company. It is a business unit, just like sales, marketing, or anything else, right? So if you think that corporate social responsibility is I'm going to give to my favorite charity, that is not corporate social responsibility. It's serious, hardcore part of your business. So I'll take you a bit on our journey on developing a CSR program, and that is that my co-founders and I have kids, and we deeply care about the future that we are leaving to them, and not just our kids, but all future generations. And so our goal is to pay it forward, and make healthy profits along the way, because money gives you power to do good things if you care to. And so we decided that we would implement CSR as part of a core part of our business. And so our first step was to hire a CSR manager. Right out of school, and sit down and build a 5-year CSR strategy. Okay, so that seems like proper business management, right? Not just kind of ad hoc stuff. You don't want to do that. So our CSR strategy focused around our higher purpose. If you don't have a higher purpose in your company, you need to start with that. But we have a higher purpose in our company that our customers resonate with, and also our employees resonate with, and that's to make the world more sustainable, which is the higher purpose of many organizations today. And it's okay if it's yours too, because this is an important problem we have to solve. So we built a 5-year strategy, and we are in the process of implementing that strategy. And I'll tell you what that strategy is, because it'll give you an idea of how to build your own. So we have 3 big phases of our CSR strategy. So phase 1 is building the foundation within your organization and your local community. So we build programs for employees, we build programs for community partners, and when we first started that, we started very simply. We built a triple bottom line of people, profit, and planet, and we made ourselves accountable internally and externally to a triple bottom line. And then we thought we want to really join a global movement around sustainability and amplify our impact. So we adopted the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which if you haven't seen them, you should. This is the biggest global challenges we face around creating a sustainable planet. And the entire world is kind of working on these, and I think it's a good idea for you guys to look at them and consider those. So then we adopted the UN Sustainability Goals, not all of them, because there's quite a number of them. And then the next step was we thought, well, there's no accountability in a triple bottom line framework. So we wanted to make ourselves more accountable to our stakeholders, investors, employees, community. So we adopted the standards of B Corp. So B Corp is a certification for companies that they can adopt, and it's a score that you get that demonstrates, if you meet the threshold, the highest standards in social responsibility, environmental responsibility, legal transparency, and good governance. And so we set about to become a B Corp certified company, which we are. And now we have an ability to benchmark ourselves and test whether we're making any kind of progress. So those were the first phase of building the foundations, right? The next phase of our business is all around aligning our product to our purpose, okay? So, you know, you build things or make things, and that's what your brand is identified with. And so you need to align, we believe, our product with our purpose. So we have built tools within our maintenance software to track companies' greenhouse gas emissions, do life cycle asset planning so that they can manage the full life cycle of their equipment from cradle to grave. And the final phase is something around system changes for business. Okay, so what we want to do is change how businesses are run with a view to having, in our case, we're in the tech space, having companies adopt tech for good, using technology for good things, not evil things. And also to help companies, and our mission to influence companies to adopt CSR as an everyday part of their business. And so we need to get really good at CSR, we need to be really accountable, and we need to create a soapbox that we can stand on and say, hey, one of the reasons we're so successful is because we have CSR, you should do it too, here's how you do it, right? And so that is the mission that we are on, sort of in its totality. I could talk to you for weeks about this, but that's sort of the high level. So a few lessons learned, and I think the most critical lesson I can tell you is that if you don't have support from your CEO, you're done. Okay? It's over, because you'll have all these great ideas and you will have no support from the decision maker. So if your decision maker, and I'm not talking your middle manager or maybe not even your VP, if the highest authority in your company is not behind this initiative, you are going to be so frustrated and you're going to struggle terribly and become disillusioned. So before you go and create this giant master plan, go and have a coffee with the CEO. She might say, can't do that, right? But you have to go prepared and armed, because I'll give you my second takeaway is that, because we're in tech, we're metrics driven. We measure like everything. And we actually measured the impact of our CSR dollar spend on revenue. How? By talking to our customers and asking them if they bought our product for what reason. Okay, so we have around 10 to 12%, depends on the year, of our customers told us that the reason they bought our product instead of someone else's, because there's lots of competitors, was because of our CSR programming. Okay, we spend 1% of our top line revenue by governance on CSR. Okay, and we spend about another 1% on internal programming. So we spend 2% to get a 12% or a net 10% bump in revenue. So CEOs and business owners, pay attention. Doing good is good for business. Okay, it's good for your bottom line. And there's all sorts of other altruistic reasons to do it, which I'm a big fan of. But you make more money by adopting CSR, not just by customers, buying more stuff or choosing you, but you have a higher ability to attract new talent. New talent is the second most important thing for employees is purpose, right? So there's three things that employees care about in this order that we found. Career, opportunities to move around and develop and grow and be mentored and make reasonable money. The second one is cause, right? They want to belong to a company that stands for something more than just greedy profits, that they can be proud of, that they've made a difference in some positive way. And the third thing they care about is culture. That's like how things are at work, and whether it's caustic or terrible, or you enjoy the 8 hours every day that you spend. So CSR is a huge motivator to attract talent and retain talent, make more money, and just do good for the world and feel good about waking up in the morning and going at it.